We are the ones who don't know what we're fighting for. Give us a gun and send us all off to war. We are the ones who grow up in violent homes. We are the ones who don't know what's right or wrong. I know. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones who are born into war. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones who just don't give a fuck no more. No more. We are the ones who don't know why we're losing score. Give them a badge so they could send us to the morgue. We are the ones who are scared to walk out the door. We are the ones who don't know what we're dying for. I know. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones who are born into war. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones who just don't give a fuck now. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones who are born into war. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones who just don't give a fuck no more. No. Get off his fucking neck. Love that makes you know. He can't fucking breathe. Love that makes you know. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones who are born into war. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones who just don't give a fuck now. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones who are born into war. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones who just don't give a fuck no more. No.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the latest episode of I'm No Joe, your home for all things combat sports and the place where every armchair quarterback can feel like Ben Bronco. The views and opinions presented on the I'm No Joe channel belong solely to the person expressing them, no one else. If we say it, that means we meant it. That being said, this show does contain adult themes, adult content, and general shit that you shouldn't be letting your kids intake. Be advised, viewer discretion is recommended. Proceed at your own risk. You've been warned. If it's Friday night, Help Step Podcast, I'm stuck. No Step Podcast, what are you doing? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of appropriate ages, to a rare Friday night edition of the I'm No Joe podcast. I am your hostess with the mostest, the meter. Welcome to another fun-filled edition of all things fight news and fuckery. You are here in the home for all things combat sports. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the I'm No Joe podcast. So, first and foremost, before we get into all the fun and fuckery we have got to bring you fine folks that is shaking down the pipe since we saw you last. Gentlemen, how the hell you doing this evening?
Doing fantastic. I was killing time doing Rubik's Cubes over here before we started. One down, one to go.
Nice.
Doing good. Doing good. I hope you're doing good.
Hell yeah.
Doing great myself. No, neither wasn't feeling the greatest last night. Hope you're doing better now, brother. Glad to fucking get the show going. It's gonna be a fucking fun one. Been a pretty good week. Excited for those fights tomorrow night. Let's fucking get it, boys.
Oh yeah. So I was telling him in the group chat, it's one thing if I push the show back, I'm actually fucking sick because I missed the whole fucking Chiefs game and our fucking fantasy league draft yesterday. That you could tell I wasn't fucking feeling it. So that being said, we are better today than we were yesterday, and we push forward. So kicking things off as we like to around here with a little bit of news and recent events, things that have shaken down the information superhighway from combat sports organizations we feel worthy of you knowing about. First and foremost, a little bit tying back into some of the fucking craziness that we watched unfold last weekend. We found out for certain, confirmed now, Rose not only broke that pinky that we saw all kinds of wonky, but she actually broke her hand as well in the middle of the first round. She fought 13 of those 15 minutes against Manon Fiorot, literally with one hand, could not close it or make any type of a grip with her right hand, her dominant hand, at all. So for all the naysayers wanting to talk shit, Rose's first debut at 125 pounds, literally with one hand, her non-dominant hand, she took the quote-unquote #1 contender to a 5-round contestable decision. So stick that in your ass and smuck it. That being said, there was also very much more interesting news tied to the main event. We found out that while Cyril Gane was literally in the cage fighting for his fucking prize money, his home was being robbed for almost $200,000 worth of property. And the worst part about it is that they believe it was a tip-off from someone inside his fucking camp because the timing was too perfectly coincided to when he wasn't going to be there in relation to the fight itself. Because when the fight was over, he went home. That's how they fucking found this shit. Like, unfucking believable for some shit like that to have popped off. Hopefully they catch everyone involved and those motherfuckers find their stupid asses promptly thrown in fucking jail and blackballed from the MMA community at large, because that's some absolute fucking bullshit.
Yes, it is. And you know what? Props to Cyril, because right after that happened, he was out hanging out with Bisbing and them, fucking drinking and having a gay old time. So
Yep. Went out
to be able to just put it aside, going, you know what? It's just fucking things. Fucking hell of a man there. But lucky he didn't find them in his house, because they would have ended up going to the fucking hospital.
That would have been bad. Yeah, for sure. So a little bit of news tying into this weekend's event. We'll get more about the fight card itself later on in the show, but we do have a little bit of interesting news. We had an almost perfect way in, this fucking close, and one dipshit had to blow it. And wouldn't you fucking know it, it was the guy that they have been trying to put the most hype on lately, the youngest of the CKB crew coming up this weekend, Shane fucking Young. Featherweight match, he comes in at 149.75. Jesus, titty fucking Christ, boy. You have no fucking excuse for that fucking ever. We've seen you unembedded. You've been at CKB. You've been running with the boys. You knew this fight was coming for a long fucking time. 5 pounds, dude. 5 fucking pounds. That's a black eye before you ever even step in the goddamn cage. And I'd be willing to bet his whole fucking purse that Berriman's going to take that out of his ass once they get fucking done with this card, as he properly fucking should. On the other side of that, we did confirm that Jared Cannonier is in Sydney and did officially make championship weight as a backup. So should something happen between now and tomorrow evening when this fight actually takes place, and either one of those gentlemen are unable to compete, Cannonier is on deck and made weight, ready to go, and will step in. So knock on wood, hopefully that doesn't fucking happen. But if it does, they are actually properly fucking prepared for a change. That being said, the dad body constrictor himself, Alexei Oleinik, made his professional boxing debut this last weekend. with fucking style, like only the dad body constrictor could do, in a very awkward 34-second back and forth. He landed a haymaker for a knockout victory in his first time putting on the gloves in the squared circle. So congrats to Alexei Oleinik. It was not gracious. It was not fucking technical, but none of his fights ever really were. So good on you, Dad Body Constrictor, for keeping the combat fucking rolling, and maybe a little bit safer and probably more profitable way of doing it. So good on him for damn sure. This one ties back to a story we talked about last week. We got word that Renan Morao was confirmed officially not fighting what would have been essentially right now while Gamebred FC is taking place, because they never actually sent him a contract before they published that he was in the fight, and he wasn't trying to play that fucking game. But we did find out what Renan Morao is doing in the near future, and he will be climbing back into an actual cage October 7th, taking on Peter Lagier in Kuwait. Yes, in Kuwait. Yet another one of these Middle East large money MMA organizations starting to bring in recognizable talent. 2 former UFC big names to headline their show, their first potential show over there. Not a bad way to go about it, and especially with Renan just having his name in the news last week, but for a wishy-washy kind of way, this is a little bit better to tie that back to his name, in my opinion. That being said, a couple of very interesting fight announcements shipped down the pipe this week, actually taking place as well on October 7th. UFC Vegas 80 has its official main event in the form of one Bobby King Green versus Grant Dawson. Very, very interesting matchup. I like Grant Dawson, but it definitely feels like they are feeding him to Bobby Green to try and get some hype. And I kind of feel like that's how it's going to shake out unless we see something drastic get announced between now and then. But we'll talk more about that as we get closer to October. The following week, though, UFC Vegas 81, October 14th, had its main event announced along with the Vegas 80 main event. Both were coincided one after the other. That one will be headlined by Edson Barbosa versus Sadiq Youssef. That is a fucking spectacular matchup as well. Not 100% certain either one of them are really main events, but they are both Vegas Apex cards, so I get it. We'll see, though. As we saw walking around, the octagon a little bit earlier over on Gamebred, we got confirmed this week, October 28th, the Gamebred FC heavyweight title will be on the line between one Roy Big Country Nelson and Alan Belcher, fresh out of BKFC, because apparently Dave Feldman can't let his toys play in any other sandbox. So as soon as Belcher booked a boxing match with Misfits organization, which not saying that was smart or not, but it was apparently allowed under his contract, Feldman didn't like it. They stripped him of the BKFC heavyweight belt and released him from his BKFC contract, to which Belcher went, fuck you, booked the boxing match, confirmed, and now has officially signed with Gamebred FC and is fighting for their heavyweight title in his debut. So way to go, Feldman. Another fucking genius move, champ. That being said, back over on the UFC side of the house, UFC 295 taking place November 11th, and MSG had another very interesting pair of fights added to it this week. Derek Brunson climbing back into the cage to take on Roman Dolidze, coming fresh off a long layoff there, as well as another long layoff comeback, Matt Schnell stepping in to welcome in newcomer Steve Ursig. Very, very interesting pair of matchups there, as if 295 needed more, but I guess when you've got two potential GOATs threatening to retire after that, you better make sure the card's stacked top to bottom. So hopefully they continue to do that. That being said, excuse me. sometime in December, because they still haven't given them a date, even though he literally works for them. Rampage Jackson has confirmed he is fighting Daryl Schoonover in the UFL. Schoonover signed his contract last Thursday, so they can officially make the announcement. The most interesting detail about this fight to me is that though it will be contested at heavyweight, Rampage said just yesterday in an interview, by the time December gets here, he anticipates being back down to about 235 pounds. And if you saw Rampage in that interview, you would laugh as loud as I did when I heard him say that, because Rampage is probably pushing 4 bills right now, 3 and change easily. He makes me feel skinny, and I'm 3 bills solid. So good luck getting that fat ass down to 235 in a matter of a couple of months without taking all that horse meat and wink wink Mexican supplements. But then again, we don't know how heavy the UFL is going to sniff test them, or if they even will. So we'll see. The biggest part about the contingency of this fight, though, I think, was the way that Rampage got Daryl Schoonover to sign his contract. He literally called him on the phone and he said, "Yo, titties, sign the contract. I'll stop calling you titties if you sign the contract, titties. Otherwise, titties, I'm going to call you titties till I die, titties." And Schoonover apparently said, "Fine, I'll fucking sign it." Inked it and faxed that bitch right back over. So there's literally a name titties on the line for this matchup, which in this situation kind of means more than the prize money would, I think. So we will see if Daryl Schoonover retains his Rampage given nickname or gets the redemption he's been so long seeking once we get a little closer to December. That being said, we got the official announcement. UFC 5 is in the works, and they have confirmed the new athletes for the cover. This time around for UFC 5, it will be represented by Alexander Volkanovski and Valentina Shevchenko. Fucking A right. Masvidal and Izzy on 4 was cool. Connor on 3, that fucking poster was awesome. I get it. So Vulcan Val on 5, I think could be pretty fucking cool as well. So I'm here for it. Can't wait to see what they do with that. Speaking of Connor, though, Connor was actually in the news for something positive for a fucking change this week. Although it probably stirred more controversy than it did applause. John Kavanagh officially issued Conor McGregor his black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu this week. Conor said he was very proud and honored to receive it and cannot wait to choke someone out to show off his skills. To which everyone went, "Oh, Jesus fucking Christ." That being said, even if you've got a guy like Kavanagh who is potentially willing to maybe allegedly look the other way or bend a couple corners and speed the time frame along, a black belt is still legitimately something that takes a serious chunk of your life and a commitment to achieve. So for that, I will tip my cap to him, even though there may be an asterisk next to it. The black belt is still an achievement worth celebrating. Speaking of achievements worth celebrating, oldest fucking starting to fall apart though he may be, we got confirmation Paul Felder is officially back in the USADA testing pool. He said he has no immediate fight dates. He has not been sent any contracts yet, but he is paving the way for a potential one last go after the Korean Zombie quite literally lit a fire underneath him in real time. A man of his word, Felder is back in the fucking USADA pool, feeling his oats like we got somebody out in the chat doing as well. I'm fucking here for it, dude. I am fucking here for it. Whether Paul actually climbs back in the cage or he just makes sure he's staying fucking ready, either way, Felder's a fucking class act and I'm okay with it. Now, speaking of class act, it probably goes without saying, and most of you would probably be thinking the same way that I am when you initially heard this, that the Canadian Sports Hall of Fame has a new inductee, and I don't think it's the inductee part that kind of caught me off guard. It's the fact that he's just now being inducted. That's right. The one, the only George Rush St. Pierre has officially been inducted into Canada's Sports Hall of Fame. How we made it to 2023 and he is just now getting put in there, I do not understand, but this is absolutely one of those better late than never. That man has been a literal Canadian face for mixed martial arts for what, 2 decades and change now?
It makes you wonder, do they have a rule about adding people to the Hall of Fame like the NFL does, where you have to be retired for so many years?
For so long. Yeah. Could be that, or they could just have some real uppity cunts on their fucking Hall of Fame board as well.
Yeah, afraid of a little fight.
But that being said, kudos to fucking GSP.
It actually catches on.
Yeah, kudos to GSP for damn sure on that. Excuse me. Now on to the actually no, we've got one more good one, then we'll get to the shit sandwich here. We got confirmation directly from the horse's ass mouth himself, Dana, last week, that despite the popular outcry and essentially the deservedness, which doesn't really apply in MMA, I get it, Aljamain Sterling will not be getting an immediate rematch with Sean O'Malley for the belt. So, not being one to just sit on the sidelines and cry, I will tap my hat. We have got confirmation the contract has been signed. Aljo is jumping right the fuck back into it. He is taking his ass to Polaris 25 to compete against Nathaniel Wood, who is one fucking hell of a grappler himself. Staying active, working on what he's best at to make sure that he stays sharp for when he does get back in there. It's not the UFC, but I think at this point in time, it's probably one of the best moves that he can make. So good on to Aljo for playing that smart and doing the right damn thing. On the other side of that, maybe not doing the right thing here. Jason Mayhem Miller is back in the news again. It seems like it's been, maybe 2 months since we talked about him? Yeah, I guess we are about due. Well, Mayhem Miller was at a West Hollywood bar last weekend and got into a verbal altercation with a person who recognized him and asked him for an autograph, to which he promptly gut punched and then choked the gentleman out. And as soon as the police were called, he ran the fuck out, but not to be outdone by his own Mayhem Millerness. He came back to the fucking bar the next night where the patron and the same fucking bouncer were both there to subsequently call police and get him arrested. Mayhem, gonna mayhem. And I will say, I think it is almost 3 months since we had one of these Mayhem Miller stories, so he's spacing them out a little bit further between fuck ups, but still, for fuck's sake, Mayhem, like, really?
That dude's needed an intervention for so goddamn long.
You know what's ironic is that somebody really needs to put him on a show like Bully Beatdown, teach him a lesson.
Yeah, because man, it's been since his last MMA fight, his last professional MMA fight. Right. It's just been a total shit show and fucking
one after another. Yeah.
The sad part is because he lives in California, and California likes to let people out of jail, even though they shouldn't, because prison crowding. He's never gonna sit.
Yep. Yeah, the last time they locked him up for violating the previous charge, gave him an extended 2 months, and he was out a month later because they didn't have room to keep him for the original charge's length. It's like fucking mayhem, man. Fucking mayhem. What are you gonna do though? I will say, even though this next piece is technically a little bit of a downer, I personally look at it as a little bit of a relief. Not that I expect it to last or to be the final word in this, but we did get confirmation again directly from the horse's ass mouth that they are officially giving up on Zuck versus Musk happening in the UFC. At this point, Dana has said he still encourages the fight to happen. He still encourages both of them to make it an actual event, but he accepts the fact that they have both come to terms and neither one of them want it to take place in the UFC. If it happens now, it's going to happen between the two of them. They're going to quote unquote raise money for charity, wink, wink, and it will happen independently. So Spider-Man all over that bitch for what it's worth. That being said, unfortunately, this week, as like most weeks, I do have to end the news segment with the shit sandwich that is one more week has gone by, and yet again, we have managed to let Dana White weasel his fucking way through life, thinking that somehow smacking his wife down in Cabo San Lucas on New Year's Eve and the memory of that event happening is all the punishment that he needs to incur. And I don't fucking think so, and I don't give a shit if he's blocked me on social media. Fuck you, Dana, you piece of shit. Own up to your fucking actions like the real man you're supposed to be, bitch. That being said, either of you gentlemen have anything in the news that I might have missed this week?
I had one thing, but I fucking forgot what it is now. So it's not even a big. It must not have been that big of a
I
fucking
told you,
deal.
if you leave that window open here for too long, secondhand flows through, even on Zoom.
You'll have that. What are you gonna do?
All good. All good. Ramie, are you good this week? I forgot to ask earlier.
Am I good this week?
Yeah.
Oh, as far as like some yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. I thought you had said so, but I forgot to confirm before the show. So
Oh, I remember what I wanted to just briefly touch on.
see, that's why I asked it.
Fucking Francis Ngannou and Tyson Fury had their first official face-off.
Yeah.
It is very rare that I say somebody seems to dwarf Francis Ngannou.
Right?
But Tyson Fury dwarfed the shit out
He
of him.
literally looked down on him. I don't know that we have ever seen that happen before in the case of Francis Ngannou. Tyson Fury was literally like hair and forehead looking down on Francis Ngannou.
Yeah, it was for me watching that was the strangest shit I've ever seen in my life. Like, because you expect Francis, this giant motherfucker in the MMA cage, and then Tyson Fury is just another big cocksucker. He might not be built the same,
tree and a half, man.
but fuck, it was wild to watch. Not to mention the fuckery that was afoot there. Tyson is definitely feeling it. It's gonna be a fun one when that comes.
This is gonna be fun to watch, no matter how it plays out. I agree. Okay, so with that being said, if you've been watching MMA as long as some of us have, sometimes you see a fight matched up on paper and you're like, I know how that's gonna go, no fucking problem. And then you get to fight week like now, and you start seeing some embedded footage, and you start seeing the weigh-ins, and you're like, oh fuck, maybe I might have jumped the fucking gun a little bit. And you start to hash and run that one back in your head a little bit. Our new guy here just happens to be pretty damn proficient in that. A little segment that we like to call Rethinking It with Ramie.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you. It's always a great intro. Yeah, of course I've got some rethinking that's on this one. Are you kidding me? Like, I keep going back to, like, I'm going back to the freaking Sean O'Malley fight. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm going back there. Yeah, that's how I'm seeing the Strickland fight with Adesanya. If there's anyone that has a positive, and it's not for the same reasons by any stretch of the imagination. Obviously, I feel like if Sean's going to do it, it's going to be, like what I've got him down for round. Yeah, so obviously I had Izzy. Okay, that's the whole point of this is I had Izzy. Like all day long. Anyway, just stick with this one at the moment, but got Izzy all day long. KO, round 1, round 2. Easy. But there's that weird Strickland factor of he is straightforward. He's awkward to fight. The guy is like a Diaz brother on you. He's like both Diaz brothers on you. He never lets up. He's constant pressure. I don't know how this is going to end up being like that, but he has been pushing the idea that there's going to be a submission. I'm going to go submission round 2. I'm going to go submission round 2 for Strickland here. And I'm legit changing that, guys. Like, I'm legit going to, I'm gonna try to leave it there. I'm gonna try to leave it there up until the fight, as closer it gets. Who knows, man? I may fucking rethink this again. But as of now, I'm rethinking that. Sorry, go ahead, man.
You have some giant testicles. Like
I know.
fucking, do you
Massive.
need a wheelbarrow to carry those motherfuckers around in? Calling something like that?
I'm getting close to 50. My sack has dropped a lot, bro.
We're gonna have to start calling him Randy Marsh.
No shit.
He's just gonna
It
be
must have
wheelbarrowing them down the
Dude.
street.
Look, trust me when I say this was the weirdest one I've ever decided to go with. Like, this is going with my full gut, and that's it. My gut's huge. But I'm going with my gut on this one, and look, I know it's dumb. On paper, it's like the dumbest thing I could do. But again, I'm looking at it as though I'm feeling that same thing. And again, now that we're doing this again on a Friday, which is weird that I'm in here now, and it's not my fault, guys. But this will be the second Friday I've done. Just I looked at Izzy whenever he went in for his interview, his post fight or his post scale interview. Dude, the guy's eyes weren't even there. He was gone. He was so dehydrated. You could tell his brain wasn't even hardly working. And then there's Sean, his post fight speech or his post weigh in speech. He's still sweating. He's still got just juices flowing out of him. I'm sorry, but I think he's going to man dance it in the round one. Izzy's going to piece him up like usual, and he's going to take it to the ground in the second, and he's going to try to sub him. And I don't think it's going to be pretty. It's going to be the ugliest thing you've ever seen. But in the process, you will see, I think, that Strickland has a chance to get that belt. And that is the weirdest shit I've ever said in my life. Strickland with the belt? Really? Come on. Anyway, so I'm rethinking that. And yeah, I know that's messed up. Dude, yeah, trust me whenever I say I know that's messed up. But I'm going for the same reason I went with the O'Malley fight. That's my point. It's not for the same, I really thought that O'Malley was going to hit him and knock him out. That was my thinking in that. I have a feeling Strickland's going to sub him round two. So I'm switching my stuff up there. And guys, this other one, it's the first two fights. I mean, the last two fights of the night. These are my biggest rethinks. All the rest of them, I think I got those locked in fight. These two, man, come on, guys. You got Tuivasa against Volkov. That's a coin toss, in my opinion. It's whoever hits who the hardest first. First. That's it. It's over with. So I want, so in the beginning, I had Bam Bam. I got that son of a gun all day long because I was going with all Aussies. I was kind of like, I'm on an Aussie kick. Let's go Aussie all day long. And then I started thinking about it, and I'm like, damn it, though. That's Alexander Volkov, though, dude. How many times have you seen him? I mean, that guy is a beast. I mean, now, do I want Tuivasa to win? Yeah. I want Bam Bam to win that shit all day long. I just have a feeling Volkov has studied him. He's had plenty of time. I think he's paid attention. He understands that the Bam Bam comes out a little crazy. I think he does that because he's like, you know what? I don't even want to work my gas tank. So let's end this shit now. Let's just be done. And I think Volkov knows that. I don't know. I think it's going to be a hard. If Tuivasa wins, I think it's going to be by decision. Like, it's going to be a long fight. It's going to be a long night for him. And I think I got Drago on this one. I'm going with the round one KO, dude. I know. Too effed up. And I know that. Going into this, these are two that I'm feeling. So those are the ones that I got for tonight. There just wasn't much else on there that I was really having a hard time with. And again, the reason I'm kind of had a hard time with these is because I'm looking at the Izzy Strickland. We just had the, Aljo O'Malley fiasco. And I'm like, I don't know. This is one that I just don't know. I don't know. I think Strickland has a chance. Tear me up in the chat, guys.
Very, very interesting prediction, sir. Very interesting. But I can absolutely see the logic in both situations there. Absolutely. Much appreciated, sir. Much appreciated.
Absolutely.
So that'll bring us to the point where in most podcasts, you'd be getting some B-roll bullshit ad for some fucking company that has nothing to do with the podcast or a product that the people on the show don't actually fucking use and they don't fucking care about. We don't play that fucking game here. Here on the I'm No Joe podcast, we are sponsored by one place and one place only. Patreon.com/I'm No Joe. For as little as $1 a month, you not only help us do what we do, but it gets you first and foremost, your name at the end of every single broadcast on this channel as a thank you to let everybody know how awesome you are for helping us out, as well as unfettered and unrestricted access to things that we literally could not publish without age gating and verifying beforehand. So you get unrestricted access to behind the scenes, unaired and literally unairable footage just for you fine folks. And it helps us do what we do. So patreon.com/I'm No Joe if you want to help for as little as $1. If not, youtube.com/I'm No Joe every Thursday or Friday, depending on shit happening night. It's free if you want to just listen and you don't want to see these faces. I get it. I own a mirror. Anchor.fm/I'm No Joe, your podcast consumption platform of choice in the all audio format of the show. That being said, if you watch combat sports like some of us do pretty fucking hardcore and pretty regularly, you inevitably tend to develop a set of blinders, so to speak. You kind of know what you like, where it comes from, and what time it comes on. And inevitably you can lose the forest for the trees doing that. But luckily for us here on the I'm No Joe podcast, we've got ourselves a bona fide young person who fingers the pulse of the MMA world to keep us in touch with the most important up and coming news in the combat sports world, helps us know the names of the folks before they're the names that you're gonna know. In a little segment we like to call Slows, Cans, and Contenders.
Fucking appreciate it, brother, like always. So in the past week, the Contender Series on Tuesday, I just didn't see any interest, man. I watched it. I went up passing out towards the end of it. I mean, there was a couple of finishes on there, but I'm not that interested in any of the kids that got a contract. So I don't have anybody to talk about off this week's actual Contender Series. We'll just move straight on to this weekend's card. I've got a lot of cans that I threw down this week. I got a few contenders for fights and shit that I'm going to throw out there. So let's get into the cans. Got to start out with Shane Young. I mean, I said it on our podcast this morning, and putting both of these Aussies in there. Any Australian fans listening to our podcast, please don't hate me. I just got to be honest, judge it how I see it. There's no bias here. All love to Australia, and we love a lot of Australian fighters, just not Shane Young and Tyson Pedro. So threw both of them in the fucking can. Damn sure think they're both going to get their asses worked this weekend and just completely proves the point as well. I think 13-8 for Shane Young and 9-4 record for Tyson Pedro. And both just absolute back and forth in fucking UFC since they got in. So you got Mike Matthew or Blood Diamond, Izzy's fucking buddy that the UFC let in 3-0. And he's lost both of his fights in the UFC. So he's now 3-2. He's getting his third fight in the UFC. Probably going to lose this one. He's fighting Charlie Radke. So this kid's making his debut, but he's got some finishing potential. Radke, 7-3, 5 finishes, 3 of them by knockout. Won his last 4, and 3 of those by finish. So I'm leaning more on that side of this kid than Blood Diamond. So throwing Blood Diamond in the can. Also got John Makdessi. He's on that older side of things now, 38 years old, 11-8 in the UFC. He's always been back and forth in his career. So throwing him in the can, probably should call it a quits for him. We got Anton Turkalj, another guy who's lost his first couple fights in the UFC. I honestly feel like he's going to win. Because he's fighting Tyson Pedro, I'm literally leaning to it, but I'm still throwing him in the can. You could just throw this fight in the can, Pedro versus Turkalj. I think Turkalj is, the one that's going to edge that fight out. but we're still definitely throwing them in the trash. The last one I got in my can section this week, the one we all fucking hate, probably most MMA fans fucking hate, and would love to see Felipe Dos Santos knock him the fuck out or choke him the fuck out in his UFC debut, working with, Du Bronx, Charles Oliveira, and his fucking camp. Kid looks fucking exciting, undefeated, 7-0. He's gonna fuck up Manal Cop. Manal Cop's a fucking can, an overrated piece of shit in his own mind. Nobody else fucking backs up his overrated hype and bullshit. It's 3-2 in the UFC. Oh, wow, you knocked out Ode Osborne. And you got this gigantic fucking head and think you're the fucking most amazing motherfucking flyweight in the universe. He kissed my fucking ass. Can't wait to see him get fucked up this weekend. So that's how I'm finishing off the can segment. Move over to the contenders. We got a couple of fights. We're going to start out with, I think it's the first fight of the night. Welterweight fight. I could be wrong about this sometimes. I set my notes up weird. But Kevin Jessett versus Kiefer Crosby. And I'm leaning more towards Kiefer Crosby as the contender, even though I'm literally comparing him to Michael Chandler. This guy is coming from Bellator, and he's always been a little back and forth in Bellator. As much as he has some excitement there, has a decent record, has finishing potential, we don't ever know about Bellator fighters going to the UFC. They normally don't do so fucking good. I'd love to see Michael Venom Page go to the UFC. I've been saying that for weeks, ever since that news came out. He was a free agent. With Kiefer Crosby, he's a little on the older side at this point, but I'm still throwing him in that contender spot, right? He's 10-3. He's got the finishing potential. You've got the experience in a decent promotion. And so we'll see how he looks in the debut. He's going against another younger guy, 30-year-old Kevin Jessett, making his debut. Not as much finishing potential, but he's won a few fights in a row after losing to Jack Della Maddalena back in 2019. And obviously, Jack Della is a hell of a contender in his own right. So, that being your last loss, there's still some excitement here. So I'm just throwing this fight in there. This could be a good way to start us off in the night. And looking out for Kiefer Crosby, just a dude moving over to Bellator. Even if he was a little back and forth, compare him to Michael Chandler. You have a really exciting moment entering your way into the UFC. It's the same thing with Chandler versus Dan Hooker. You go out there, you get a knockout, and the UFC is going to push the kid a little bit because coming over from Bellator. Throw him into the contender spot, the fight in general. I also got another fight that I'm going to throw in the contender spot. Jack Jenkins versus Jose Mariscal. Mariscal looked fantastic in his debut, beating Trevor Peek. I was really excited on Trevor Peek. That kid was fucking amazing with his striking, even in the fight. He's getting his ass beat by Mariscal, and then going in the third round, he's still swinging to the very fucking end. So Trevor Peek, I'm still excited to see what comes up for that kid. He's really fucking young. Mariscal, same fucking way. This kid is, he's 30 years old. And we always say kid, but I'm fucking 27. You're 3 years older than me. I still feel like I'm a kid. So he's been back and forth a little bit in his career, but he's been winning. Had a 4-fight winning streak before getting to the UFC, and then beat Trevor Peek in his debut. So this will be his second appearance. He got 9 knockouts, technical knockouts. But, in his career, Jack Jenkins is the same kind of guy. 8 finishes, a handful of them by knockout, TKO. Hasn't looked so great since he got in the UFC. He got a decision win versus Don Shainis and a lucky decision win against Jamal Emmers. I honestly thought he lost that fight to Jamal Emmers back in June. We'll see what happens here for him. He's got that home crowd behind him again. Maybe he comes out and actually gets a finish. But I'm putting the fight as a whole, just the finishing potential from these two guys. Whoever comes out on top, continue to look forward to for a contender. Then the two obvious ones. We're going with the big boys, the fucking heavyweights, Justin Tafa and Tai Tuivasa. Both of these guys, in my opinion, are going out there getting round one fucking knockouts. Going to light the fuck out of this crowd before we get to the main event. Everybody's going to be riled the fuck up, doing shoeies. It's going to be unbelievable. Tai Tuivasa is going to be pushed back up into the top 5. Justin Tafa is going to get himself close to the actual rankings. He goes out there and knocks the fuck out of Austin Lane. Not to mention, he's probably wanting that revenge after that gnarly ass eye poke. So we're throwing these guys in the contender spot. I really like both of these Australian heavyweights. They're exciting as fuck. They're fun to watch. Tafa's been a little back and forth since he got in the UFC. Same with Ty, but these dudes are what you want out of UFC heavyweights. They go out there and they fucking swing and bang. It's just like Derek Lewis. You want to see the knockout, especially at heavyweight. And I think we're going to fucking see it from these guys. I'd love to hear from you boys what you got on your cans and contenders for this UFC 293 done.
Okay, well, I guess I'll take the fucking reins since everybody's just gonna sit there with their thumbs up their butts.
My thumb was in my beard. Thank you.
Hey, whatever you guys say to feel better about the situation, I'm not here to judge. Well, I will be later, but not currently. No, I'm in 100% agreement. Blood Diamond, go fuck himself. Shouldn't be in the UFC. Just because you have a friend here doesn't mean you belong here. He hasn't shown anything worthwhile. Get him the fuck out of here. Manel Cape can go fucking jump in front of a semi for all I care. The dude's just an awful human being, period. And we've seen it. It's official. He's officially a terrible human being. Get
They're
the
trying
fuck
to talk
out of there.
shit against Izzy on the press conference, for fuck's sake. What the fuck?
That was fucking hilarious for what
Flyweight
it's
talking
worth.
shit to a middleweight. You
Yeah.
stupid little bastard.
And then there's one you didn't mention that I think belongs on the fucking can list. That's Carlos fucking Olberg. Carlos Olberg is not a good light heavyweight. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. He's not going to make it far. Look, just because you came from city kickboxing out of New Zealand doesn't make you a good fighter.
The way
Train with a good
Jones
team.
looks too, you could put that fight as a whole in the can.
Yeah, the fight as a whole, but still, I'm specifically Carlos Olberg.
I fully agree with you on the Olberg thing.
He's not worth it. So I'm gonna leave those as the cans that I'd like to point out. The other one that I do want to add to the contender, and I say add to the contender, but he's always got some sort of excitement with him. Nasrat Hakparas. He's always fucking exciting. You're not gonna see anything boring with him. He either goes out on his shield or he comes out on top. There's no middle ground. It won't be a boring fight with him. As Mead would say, he breaks out in punches and kicks. But then the other one as a whole I'm looking at is the Jack Jenkins fight. I'm excited to watch Jack Jenkins. There's something about that. Maybe it's the mullet. I might just be drawn in by the fucking mullet itself. But he seems like he could be fucking exciting. Yes, he's only won by decision so far, but I see greater potential in him. And granted, it is featherweight, so there's not a fuck ton of finishers at the featherweight weight limit anyways. But there's something about that scrappy little fucking Australian says he's worth watching. I'm gonna throw him over to that contender side of the house. And the only other one I have is to agree with is that co-main event as a whole. That's a contender fight right there. That's somebody's getting rocketed back towards the top because somebody's going to go to sleep. That thing doesn't get out of the second round. Guaranteed fucking teed.
Absolutely fucking agree. I'm excited as hell for that co-main event. I'm excited as hell to see if Ty can really fucking beat a guy like Volkov having that height and fucking length. All right, what do you got, Ramie? You got any cans and contenders?
Let me look real quick. I mean, I agree with you. Well, sort of. I mean, I'm going against you guys on one of those, though. Let's see here. The can, Tafa, Lane. I got Tafa. I think that's just a straight can right there. Contender, again, I think you guys are nailing it with the two of us, Volkov. Whoever wins that is getting propelled straight back up into contender. I mean, they're right up in there to get, you know, close enough to smell the belt. But yeah, that's about it. Honestly, I think that so yeah, Jenkins also. I think I think he has a lot more to show us. I don't think he's done showing us what he's got. I think we've got a little bit more to see out of him before. But I don't know, man. There's a couple of fights that I have. I'm looking forward to. I was looking forward to anyway, the young Miranda fight, but since that weight miss, man, that was some BS. That was 5 pounds. 5 pounds. I mean, that's just disrespectful right there. I mean, you didn't come prepared. You know, that just pisses me off because it makes me just want to see Miranda just beat the shit out of him, just because of that. So, yeah, I don't know, guys. I think that's about it. Honestly, I think that we have an opportunity to see the heavyweights get, you know, back into contendership up there. That fight right there that's the one, in my opinion. That's the one to watch. That fight's going to be sick. It's going to be explosive. I think you're right. It's Golf T. I don't think it's going to come out of that second round. I don't think it's going to go out of the first, honestly. I mean, those guys are going to come out just blast it. So, yeah, no, I agree with you guys though. That's actually perfect.
So, as is often the case, and I give no fucks in regards to it, I have a very unpopular opinion for my cans on this card, and that is all of City Kickboxing minus Israel Adesanya. Yes, there is a slight bit of potential in Jack, but not nearly enough for him to sway that fucking giant pendulum of what the fuck are we doing? All the fighters they have from Australia and New Zealand and from City Kickboxing itself. And this is the fucking selection that they give to us on the pay-per-view. We got better than this the last time there was a fight night down in Australia, for fuck's sake. We got better than this when there was a fight night in fucking Singapore, for crying out loud. These ain't the greatest CKB boys you want to make the fucking impression for you, aside from the fucking guy carrying the belt, trying to keep it on his goddamn shoulder. I like Ty. Volkov's a monster. Tyson's a joke. Blood Diamond's an even bigger fucking joke. Oldberg's a male stripper. He's not a fucking fighter. He should get back on the goddamn pole. Magic Mike his ass back over to Auckland because we don't fucking need him in the octagon. God damn it. And then we got Captain Can't Make Fucking Weight. Are you shitting me? 5 pounds. That motherfucker's had a full camp. 5 pounds isn't I slept too late or I had food poisoning or my ankle didn't feel good. 5 pounds is fuck you to your opponent. I agree. That's bullshit, Shane Young. The other side of that, though,
Disrespectful.
yeah, no. And on the other side of that, TJ fucking nailed it. The one dude that I have genuine interest and excitement for watching on this fucking card, aside from the main and co-main, obviously, is Nasrat fucking Hakparas. We have not seen him in too goddamn long, and that dude has too much fucking potential. The fact that they are sliding him in on the fucking prelim curtain jerker is criminal, in my opinion. But Landon Quinones seems like a good matchup for him to go in there, style, remind motherfuckers who he is, and I think he's going to do just that.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for that Quinones and fucking Hakparas fight. The biggest reason being Quinones has some huge potential with the knockout ability. The kid's got a damn good record, really fucking young, but Hakparas as well, 28 fucking years old. And like TJ said, always goes out on a shield. And I fully fucking agree with it. It's not controversial at all. All the City Kickboxing guys that's on the fucking card, other than Izzy, pretty much could go eat a you-know-what, get the hell out of the UFC. The only other good guy that would have been on the card sadly got a concussion and had to pull himself out. Kai Kara France. He was the original dude that was going to put that motherfucking can of whoop ass on Manel Cop, and we were here for that shit, but lost out on it. Sad as that fucking is, you're damn sure right. You're damn guarantee every one of those guys deserve to go on the can. I agree with pretty much everything you guys said. Appreciate all the fucking answers. It was a good fucking segment this week. Let's get on to that Tapology shit. Appreciate you, boys.
Thank you very much, sir. Much appreciated. So that being said, that'll bring us to the only segment on this show that requires its own individual disclaimer. Tapology.com does not in any way, shape, or form support, sponsor, or endorse the I'm No Joe podcast. Yet. That being said, Tapology does offer you the option to go to their site, create a free account, and make picks on fights just like we do here on the show. You can also make groups on that site. We've done just that. We made a group. It's called I'm No Bookie, or Group 965, however you need to search it. It is open to the public. You are more than welcome and encouraged to hop on Tapology, make yourself an account, join the group, and let us know who the fuck you are so we can hold you accountable in a little segment where we review all the fun that goes down there that we call Tapology with TJ.
Well. There's a huge update, or what I will call huge patch notes to last week's fight night. The patch notes have been updated. We no longer have to call the dishwasher repairman. Donna has been dethroned. Not only by the winner of this week, Christian, with 10 of 11 correct, but also Don ain't doing dishes. He squeaked it out above the misses by 30 fucking points. Gotta love when that happens. Finally, the world has righted itself. And also to the new guy, Ramie. Finally pulled his head out of his ass after 2 weeks. He's up near the top. Well done, sir. Now, I damn near tripped over my dick. Damn near. But somebody decided to roll it up for me, so that way it didn't happen. So all my thanks in the world goes out to Vin Dog the Booty Hog for taking the Trip Over Your Dick award this week and saving me from the misery of talking about myself. Well done, sir. Well done. Now, with all of that being said, nobody did bad in our group. The lowest amount of picks correct was 7 of 11. That was a fucking amazing week of picks for everybody. Now, I know I could have done better, but I took some slightly skewed views on a couple of fights where I was picking some heavy underdogs just by the off chance of something crazy happening. And, trying to dethrone old Donna there, but that didn't work out in my favor this week. But that's okay. Doesn't matter, because we've got this week coming. So, if you haven't joined the group, I'll reiterate it again. I'm No Bookie, Group 965 on Tapology. Come join us. Let us know who you are, so that way we can talk shit about you or congratulate you when you do well. Follow the little scrolly thing below. It's all right there. Now, on to this week's odds. We've got some wider odds than what we've seen recently. And one of those was a fight that I was actually just talking about, and as was Meter, Nasrat Haqparast. He's coming in at a minus 500 favorite over Landon Quinones. Quinones is coming in at a plus 360 underdog. Not surprising there, somebody making their UFC debut versus a seasoned Haqparast, who we know what he brings to the table. Surprisingly, this card, not a fuck ton of coin flips like you would think normally. There's even the Jamie Malarkey, John McDessie fight. Malarkey coming in as a minus 275 to McDessie's a plus 225 underdog. Little weird? Yes, no. It's all up to you and what you think there. They've got a Jack Jenkins and Mariscal coming in at closer to a coin flip. Giving Jenkins the edge at a minus 200 over Jose Mascarell at fucking plus 165. Now, here's where I'm going to say the bookies are dead fucking wrong. Obviously, they don't know somebody who sells their body for money versus a fighter. They have Carlos Ulberg coming in as a minus 300 favorite with Daewoo Jung at a plus 240. Make some money, go bet against Ulberg. That's all I'm telling you. Maybe that Tyson Pedro and Anton coin flipping it. 105, 115, both in the green there. So the literal coin flip. And Justin Taffa, Austin Lane. Taffa coming in as a minus 200 favorite. Lane coming in as a plus 165 underdog. Now, another one want to take a look at here. Because like I said, this one's probably not getting out of the first round. I'll say it's definitely not getting out of the second, though. And that's Alexander Volkov and Tai Tuivasa. They have Volkov coming in as the taller fighter at a minus 250 favorite over a plus 200 Tai Tuivasa. Well, we've seen what happens when Tai Tuivasa is the underdog, because he was the underdog against Derek Lewis and fucking smoked Derek Lewis. Not saying that's going to happen. I don't know, but what I do know in that fight is somebody's going to sleep. Feel free to bet first round KO on either one of them. You're going to make some goddamn money. Here's one where I think, again, the odds makers could go fuck themselves. And that is Manel Shitbag Cop versus Felipe Dos Anjos. Or Dos Santos, Jesus. They've got Dos Santos coming in as a plus 325 underdog. Training with Oliveira. Kind of a strange push there, but okay. Here's where I'm fucking upset. Minus 450 favorite from Manel Cop. Minus 450. Bet against that motherfucker all day. Make some goddamn money. Oh, to save the best for last, to the absolute surprise of nobody except for probably Ramie here, they have Israel Adesanya coming in as a minus 650 favorite over a plus 475 underdog in Sean Strickland. Yet Ramie thinks there's going to be a fucking submission in the second round. Now, what I'm going to say, Ramie, if you really fucking have the steel balls, you go bet that second round submission for about $1,000, you're going to make a fuck ton of money. Chances are you're just going to lose $1,000 and be sitting with big balls. Either way, you might win something.
I'm not disagreeing with you that is a ballsy ass move. I'm feeling the same thing as that other, match.
Like I said, to the surprise of no one but you.
No, I saw the odds. I knew I was going way against, but again, I don't agree with those odds though. So not quite.
That's the reason I put it that way.
Yeah. It's not quite as distant as it is. That's my point. Yeah.
Well,
I feel you.
I like Sean Strickland as a fighter. He's fucking great to watch, but he's not going to take out Izzy. If that shit happens, remind me to eat crow next week. If he subs him in the second round, I will send you $1,000.
All right. So thank you for actually bringing this all up to me, because I had failed to use the words man dance a minute ago when I meant to. I think I really wanted to use that and I completely spaced on it. No, I think that Strickland's going to come out there and he's going to want to man dance with Izzy. He's going to want to do what he does. And I think he's going to realize Izzy is a way better striker than Sean Strickland ever will be. And that's why I think he's going to come out he's going to try to do everything he can to survive that first round. And then he's just going to try to sub him, because that's all he's going to have left. And if he's as good with his jiu-jitsu as he says he's like, I don't know. That's why I'm going that way. And that's why I don't agree with the odds. But anyway, thank you for allowing me to say the words man dance.
Whatever you got to say to feel better about your crazy ass pick.
All right, bro.
Either way, those are the odds we got this week. Like I said, those are all coming from BetMGM. Odds may differ depending on where you're looking. So if you're looking to make some crazy second round submission bet, shop around. That might be your best bet to make some additional money or lose it. I'm just saying, not telling you to bet one way or another, but those are the odds that are currently out there. And just know, if you're a fighter, don't be fucking betting. Don't be a scumbag. Don't give people insider information either. Anyhow, that's all I've got this week. Remember, join the group, tapology.com. In the group, I'm no bookie, group 965. Come join us. Make some picks this weekend. Let us know who you are. We'll talk shit about you or pat you on the back when you do well. You'll get a attaboy. That's all there is to it.
Thank you very much for that, sir. Much appreciated. So, with that being said, that comes the point in the show where things cease to be as much haha and start to be where things get a little less friendly and a little more fuck you. And you'll know if you're watching the video by the terrifying gif that is rolled across the screen that this is the point in the show where we bring things to a head in a little competition we like to call the pit. Boys and girls, we have got a stacked one this evening. We had our first official call out of our new guy, Ramie, by none other than the show legend himself, the one, the only Jeff the Clown Puncher himself, who should be here momentarily. Ramie, are you ready to take on this challenge, sir?
I'm as ready as I'm gonna get, my man. I'm not sure what I'm in for here, so let's go. Let's go.
All right, Clown Puncher, where you at, buddy?
Give me just a sec.
He's probably running on clown time, which is why he's a little late. Punching clowns is a heavy business. He's a one-man operation. Oh, that might be my fault. I typed him to come on in and forgot to hit send because I was doing the intro portion. So we'll give him another minute here. There we go.
Oh, hello, boys and girls.
There he is, the man, the myth, the legend himself, America's favorite clown puncher. How you doing over there?
It's Clown Puncher 2.0, man.
Oh, shit.
There we go.
We've upgraded. When you
Good
come out of
shit.
a retirement state, you don't come back wearing the same pair of underwear. You put a new pair on.
Good shit. Good shit.
Hey,
All right,
DJ.
gentlemen. Are you boys ready for the pit?
I come to ram shit. That's what I came to do.
Then let's do this. All right, gentlemen.
Let me get that
You are
mark.
now participating in the I'm No Joe podcast's first ever closed scoring pit match.
Dun, dun, dun.
Scores will be revealed upon completion of round 4, and should we need to go there, then we will move to the winner take all round 5. Mr. Clown Puncher, since you are the seasoned veteran here, we're going to kick things off with you, sir. So, as we like to do around here, the first question on every card, there inevitably are a couple of fun ones, but there's always one that no matter what is going on, no matter who is with you when that one fight comes on, you must make sure everyone in earshot is paying fucking attention. And we like to call that the get in it fight of the card. So for you, which one, Mr. Clown Puncher, would you call the Haymaw fight for this weekend?
You know, I do my research in 45 seconds. So let me check my book here. I do have a notebook, see? I've been studying. Let's see. Oh, property of the Clown Puncher, see? I drew a little picture for this evening.
I saw that. That's great. But yeah, he sent me that. I love it.
Don't be laughing. No, I'm just playing. You can laugh. Oh, that's it. How do you turn the camera on? There it goes. Hmm. So we're gonna go. We're doing the
Overhype.
overhype. Oh, that's overhype or the hey mom.
The Hey Ma.
That's not overhype, is it?
No, no.
That's the one to come watch.
Yeah, the one to watch. Yeah, the Hey Ma is the one to watch.
All right. So we're gonna go with Carlos and Don Juan. You know what I'm saying? Don Juan, he can't wrestle for shit.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. Ulbert. Yeah. Dawoon Jung. Not Dawn Won.
Oh, I thought we were talking normal. Don Juan. You know, Carlos. One second.
Phone-related difficulties.
It happens.
Sorry about that. I had a wedgie. So look, back to what I was saying, you know, Don Juan, he can't wrestle for shit. You know, Carlos's feet don't move. It's just gonna be cool to see who gets a knockout. But that's my hey mom. Carlos and Don Juan.
Nice. Very good. Very good. So that'll bring us back across the octagon, as it were, here over to Ramie. So, Ramie, question to you, sir. On every card, there is inevitably one fight that you just have to make sure anyone around is watching the Hey Ma, get in here, for lack of better terms. So, in your opinion, sir, what's the Hey Ma fight for you this weekend?
Which one?
Well, Jeffrey the Clown Puncher, I apologize for winning this round on you.
Nah.
That's gonna be Bam Bam Volkov, bro. That's mine. That's the one I'm gonna be like, everybody get in here. This one's gonna be over quick. I think we can all agree that that one is not gonna go past 2 rounds. And I think that's my answer. I'm gonna go Tuivasa Volkov.
Interesting. Very interesting. Bold strategy, sir. I can see it. All right. Well, then that will bring us in to round 2 here. In round 2, we flip that proverbial coin on its side. So, Ramie, you will get this one first.
Ooh.
If every card inevitably has a Hey Ma fight, that means that they're on the other side of that coin is one fight that is getting all the shine and it doesn't fucking deserve it. It is beyond overhyped, the most talked about for no goddamn reason. Which fight for you, sir, is getting more shine than it should be?
The main card. I gotta go. I mean, the main card, the main fight, the Izzy Strickland. It's a terrible matchup. I don't care. It just is. I mean, we can all be honest on that. It sucks. It's the worst. I don't know. It's just like look, Strickland. He deserves a chance. Okay, he deserves his opportunity, but I feel like he doesn't have the like real roots behind him like some of the other people that have had the opportunity. Yeah, I know it's coin toss there. It's like it's a weird thing for him to even be up there. I get it. He just, he sort of deserves it, but at the same time, it's like, and look, I'm giving him the fight. I think he has an opportunity to f some stuff up. Now, am I going to say that he's going to have it more than one fight? No. If he does get it, no. But that's the most overhyped fight of the night. That it's the main card, main event.
Very interesting. So, Mr. Clown Puncher, that will bring things back over to your side of the cage, as it were. So, in every card, there is always one Hey Ma fight, and that means inevitably there is also one fight that's getting all the shine and does not deserve it.
What's up, dude?
I'm still saying he's gonna.
So for you, Mr. Clown Puncher, what would you say is the overhyped fight of the evening this weekend?
Need a wider range.
So we're gonna go with everybody's favorite. You know, Tia versus Volkswagen. Doesn't matter who wins. It's gonna be a knockout. They still ain't getting a title shot anytime soon. And plus, who wants to drive a Volkswagen? That's my final answer.
Understandable. Good answer, sir. Good answer. So, with that being said, that will bring us on to round 3, gentlemen, and we will flip that proverbial coin one more time. All right, Mr. Clown Puncher, the question comes to you first here.
All right.
So, get your notes, sir. Get your notes.
I'm ready. All
right.
My
So, in this, our co-mainiest of co-main events, in one Tia versus Volkswagen knockout to be determined matchup, how do you see it shaking down? Do you see Tia coming away with it, or do you see the Volkswagen running him over?
So, someone's going to sleep. You know, that's inevitable. Someone's definitely going to be me. Like, you gotta have little clowns floating over that and everything. So, Tia catches a Volkswagen, being all extra, or Volkswagen catches, you know, my Tia being lazy. But again, someone's going to sleep. It's an overhyped fight.
Very nice. Very nice. So
45 seconds of research, Ramie.
Hey, you're doing good.
That brings us back across the octagon to you, sir. So, Ramie, in our co-mainiest of co-main events, how do you see this one playing out?
I'm flipping the other side. I think it's a Volkov round 1 KO. I think he's had time. That's all. I know Tuivasa is a little bit, comes out a little bit crazy. You never know what he's actually going to do right whenever he comes out. And I get that, but I think Volkov understands that enough. He's going to distance manage. He's going to play around with him for a little bit, and then he's going to KO. I think it's going to be a strategy more than it's going to be just a gunfight, phone booth fight.
Interesting. Very
You know,
interesting
Superman
indeed.
was in the phone booth. I'm just saying, you know.
Very interesting indeed.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right, gentlemen. Well, that will bring us to round 4. And just for what it's worth, real quick, before we get into round 4, I would like to say thank you to Jorge Masvidal for letting Junior Dos Santos and FabrizioVerdum take all the supplements they want, because they're in the cage right now. It does not look like a great fight, but Junior Dos Santos' 6-pack has its own 6-pack, and there's a little needle sticking out of it. God damn!
Double 6-pack?
That being said, so Ramie, this one will go to you first, sir. UFC 293, Sydney, Australia. The middleweight title is on the line once again. Israel Adesanya versus Sean Strickland. How's it play out, sir?
Like I said, guys, I really am. I'm going to my gut here, and I know this is stupid. I know it's dumb. I see the fight played out 100 times, Izzy, and I see it that one time. I'm not flipping. I promise you. I'm just saying. I'm just kind of reiterating what I went through earlier. I'm like, because look, I'm having to reiterate this in my brain. I changed it on my picks, gentlemen. Like, it's literally changed. So but I do. I see it 100 times or 99, Izzy, and it's that one time. It's all he needs. Everyone that challenges anyone just needs that one time for everything to go right. And after seeing Izzy after the weigh-ins versus Sean, I changed my mind. This is the second time we've done this on a Friday night, and I've made a drastic change based on what they look like at weigh-ins. And I did not like what I saw out of Izzy. There was a blankness in his eyes that I've never seen. And it wasn't, oh, I'm ready for a fight blank. It was, you guys know where I'm at right now. Is there somebody like supposed to take me somewhere after this? Like, am I in what country am I in, guys? That's what it looked like. That's why I changed my pick.
Understandable. I get that. Just for the record, I said the exact same thing when Max Holloway weighed in to fight Calvin Kattar and picked Calvin Kattar to win. And goddamn, if I did not have to eat a fucking Shaquille O'Neal sized helping of fucking crow on that one. But that being said, you are absolutely entitled to your opinion, and you were right the last time you made a drastic pick like that. So
Yeah,
we will see.
We'll see.
So that'll bring us back over to the other side of things here, Mr. Clown Puncher. In our main event, we have got the nail painting anime self-proclaiming style bender himself taking on Mr. Mandance Sean Strickland for the men's 185-pound UFC World Championship title Saturday evening. What do you think happens?
I'm a little upset by his answer, honestly. I mean, Izzy is knocking his ass out, dude. Like, is he saying he's going to submit, but that's just playing mind games with his ass just so he could dance with him and knock him out. Like,
No,
I mean,
Strickland's the one he's going to submit Izzy.
The only Strickland I recognize is from Back to the Future, and he was a principal. This one, I don't know who the hell is, so Izzy's knocking his ass out.
All right. Well, thank you very much for that. Let me dot my I's and cross my T's here.
All right, so I may have taken, and I'm pretty sure you took them all after that.
So, gentlemen, my score is tallied. Do you have your scores tallied, gentlemen? All right. Judge number one, Mr. SlowB, how do you score the bout?
Well, I feel like Clown Puncher didn't do enough homework, didn't do enough research, in my opinion. I mean, I liked that last round answer a bit. Izzy has definitely been a great champion, but I also like what Ramie pulled out there that last round. I'm rooting for the American myself. I don't go for the Chinamen. I do not root for communists here, sir. So I have a problem with you, Clown Puncher. My scorecard I got right here. Let's see. Ramie, all tens.
Oh,
Clown Puncher, all sevens. We got us a 40-28, and I got you a little note, Clown Puncher. Fuck clowns, but you blew it. 40-28 on my end, boys.
All right, so
Ramie won all 4 rounds in a dominant fashion.
Judge number one, SlowB, has it 40-27 or 40-28 rather
Clown Puncher, fuck clowns, but you
to Ramie. So, judge number two, Golf Tee, how do you score the bout, sir?
While it was a valiant effort, the fucking new guy came up short. Him and his flippy floppy attitude.
I didn't flip flop. Obvious things.
I've screwed the pooch. I give it to the Clown Puncher in a 39-37.
Fair.
So
Ramie got one
number
round.
two, Golf Tee has it 39-37 Clown Puncher. I thought it was a very close battle. A valiant effort by both gentlemen. I have got it 38-38 for a unanimous draw, meaning we're going to round 5, God damn it.
All right.
Gentlemen, as you know, in round 5, the comfort of the current topics go out the goddamn window, and the
Gotta
post-it
sign
notes
up
of
for
fate determine everything.
Notes
I
go
gotta
out the
sign up. No.
Mr. Clown Puncher, I will give you the option. Would you like to go first, or would you like to choose your fate?
Let's see. I'll choose the fate.
All right.
I'll let Ramstein go first.
All right. So, Mr. Clown Puncher, I need a number from you, sir. 1 through 7.
All right, I picked through. Oh, wait, never mind. Hold on. Let's go with number 4.
Ooh, I was hoping somebody's going to pick that one soon.
Oh shit! What happened?
All right. So, for legality reasons, we will slightly be modifying the original intent of this question, but we will stay with the original spirit. So, for allegation purposes, the question begins with you, Ramie. Fornicate, marry, conduct other things of unliving with Dana White, Scott Coker, Chatri Sachadar. The 3 owners of the 3 largest MMA organizations in the world right now. PFL doesn't count because they're in the process of selling shit. Who do you do what to, sir?
Can you put those back up there for me?
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Dana White of the UFC, Scott Coker of Bellator, and Chatri Sachadong of ONE FC.
All right.
What's the FMK? Is it like fuck, masturbate, kill?
Allegedly, that's what it used to mean, but we don't use those terms anymore. So we call it fornicate, marry, and continue unliving.
There we go.
Okay. Sorry.
Fornicate. God. This is a tough one, dude. God damn. Oh my God. You can't just like do the last one and all of them. Like it's fine. Like,
Well, that would be the better for the world.
well, yeah.
No about rules in life.
Son of a bitch.
Don't
Okay.
follow 'em.
One of them. Let me see him again. Let me see him again. God dang it. Let me see him again. I don't know why I need this so much, but
You're good.
fuck. God dang it. Fornicates.
This is in 3D, don't it?
Mary Chatri. I'm offing the other thing with Dana. I got to go that route because, and you haven't touched on this yet, Mister. You have got to jump back on Dana for not coming up with an apology and a formal apology on the slapping of his wife. So that's why I'm going to go that route. Going that route, guys.
Scott Chatri Dana, then, huh?
What's up?
You said Scott Chatri Dana?
Yes.
All right. Well, then that brings it back to you, Mr. Clown Puncher. In the world where we fornicate, marry, and then continue unliving with one of 3 people.
Unaliving.
Dana White of the UFC, Scott Coker of Bellator, and Chatri Sachadong of ONE FC. Who goes where, sir?
Okay. All right. Dana's obviously going with the no longer around thing, just because what my good man right there said. That's love for you, brother. But I mean, you can marry Scott, but cha-cha-cha, that just sounds fun. That's like a once in a lifetime kind of thing right there. So the fart on people one, cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha. See how it works out? It just goes with it. Scott's like a toilet paper. You're gonna always need that. And then not being around, that's definitely Dana for a smackety smack, wickety whack. But just think about this, Ram. How exciting does cha 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 sound? Like you only gonna need it once.
As
So
your last, I want that as my last name, though.
see, that's just I mean, this ain't the 70s no more. But that's my answer. Cha cha cha, toilet paper, and throw off the bridge.
Nice. All right. Well, gentlemen, great match by both of you. Great final answer from both of you here. I've got to say, after much intense debate, the point for round 5 and the winner of this episode's match in debate is the Clown Puncher. It was literally down to a razor's edge, and I've got to tell you honestly, 100%, the fact that swayed me and tipped it 100% in his factor was I was literally just thinking, I'm not fucking joking at all, 100% honest moment right now. I was literally just thinking when you were debating that before he answered about Ian Machado Gary, and then he responded with, it's not the 70s anymore, and the cha-cha-cha combined with it, I can't not. So
I'm in agreement there, because you know what? Chatri spends way too much money on shit that doesn't fucking matter. And Scott's about to be a fucking loaded motherfucker once they sell Bellator.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You get a bonus. You get a bonus. That's fucking Chatri
Right?
all
Just
day.
say his name in the ring and you're getting a fucking bonus most of the time. Oh, shit. So that is what we've got for a pit match. Thank you, gentlemen, both of you, for your time this evening. Very much appreciated.
Valiant effort, young Ramstein. But you will one day see the areolas like I have.
Hey, dude. Hey, I appreciate the
That's all. TJ was in the areolas. I seen it.
DJ. Yeah, man. Dude, I appreciate the challenge though. That was fun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Good shit. Thank you very much, Mr. Clown Puncher.
All right, fellas. I gotta go punch some clowns. Merry Christmas.
That being said, that is all we've got for this particular episode of the show. Thank you to everyone who tuned in, whether you were catching this live over on imnojoe.com, or excuse me, youtube.com/imnojoe, or you're picking this up a week later in the all audio format on anchor.fm/imnojoe. Either way, we appreciate you just the same. But remember, when things wrap up shop around here, that's not the end of it, because this morning, which would normally be tomorrow morning if we were on the show's normal time, and pretty much every Friday morning, that gentleman right there and his hetero life may drop their podcast, the SlowB and Contemplate podcast, over on Spreaker.com/SlowB and Contemplate. Links for that show and those gentlemen down below, as well as the link to their own their own channel on the I'm No Joe Discord server that's scrolling down along the bottom as well.
Appreciate that, brother. And of course, the fucking fun doesn't stop there. Once we get on into next week, you can't ever fucking forget to show the brother TJ some love on his YouTube channel, Golf T Vapes. You can also find him on all of his other social medias, Golf T Vapes. But every Wednesday night, about the same time that we start this podcast, you can tune in, learn some fun recipes and cool things about fucking vapes, and just always chill and have a good motherfucking time. Make sure you pop in every Wednesday night around 9:30 Central Time to the Foggy Fairway on Golf T Vapes YouTube channel. Show the brother some love.
Yeah, man. Now, I know he's the fucking new guy, but he also does his own things. He's got himself a little podcast as well. Yeah, he's up on both YouTube and Instagram under Mo Canna Culture. Go click his links down below. Now, don't think we forgot about the host of the show here. Meter does more than one thing. In fact, the Meter does do many things. If you want to know all of the many things that the Meter does do, you can click on Linktree/I'mNewJoe, or excuse me, Linktree/Meter does many things.
It's
And that'll take you to the link that all the things that the Meter does do.
both work. They're both links as well. There's an I'm No Joe set for I'm No Joe, and then the meter does many things.
look at that.
Has
Killing
everything in it.
2 fucking birds with 1 stone. Go find out all the things that the meter does do. And go check out Ramie's podcast.
Appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. That being said, thank you to each and every one of you who tuned in. If you like what we get up to around here, please make sure you give us a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed and your notifications are turned on, whatever platform you're consuming this in. On the other side of that coin, if you don't like what we get up to around here, first and foremost, what the fuck are you still doing this deep into a podcast you didn't enjoy? Give us a thumbs down and then go fuck yourself. We won't even dispute it. That being said, that's all we've got for this particular episode. So until next time, boys and girls, remember, don't let ignorance stop you. You can root for anything.
Everybody was kung fu fighting. Those kids were fast as lightning. In fact, it was a little bit frightening. How do I say goodbye to what we had? The good times.